guys, my name is Mayana. Welcome to my Court, and today I'm going to be doing a tier ranking video. So I have my laptop right here and I'm really excited. I've been wanting to do one of these videos for a very long time, but I didn't know how to screen record. I'm not gonna hold you up. I do not know how to screen record on my computer. I literally just looked it up last night. But yeah, so I was like, I really need to film this video right now. So I was like, let me just look this shit up real quick. So I'm gonna be tier ranking BookTok books, which I probably read most of them because come on now, like. So we're gonna start off with my little title things. So we have Holy Grail, Mile Core approved, decent, unfortunately I read it, would recommend if I hated you, not reading that shit. Oh, I cannot spell. I couldn't come up with any clever little title things, so I don't know what to tell you, but let's get into it. Oh, and I also didn't set a TBR bar because I figured I wouldn't want to read any of these. So My Dark Vanessa, not reading that shit. Not that I don't want to read it like because it's terrible or anything. I actually think it's probably, looking at these books, a lot of these are books that were popular on BookTube. I hate that BookTok gets credit for like books that are popular on BookTube. Like there are definitely books that came out after BookTube, but like why is BookTok getting credit for things that were already popular on BookTok? Because My Dark Vanessa definitely was popular way before BookTok, but and it's like they copy the exact same books too. Like it's not just like, oh, like some of them, like the exact same books are copied, okay? Even the ones, anyway. So my Dark Vanessa, it's not that I don't want to like read it, but I wasn't gonna set a TBR column just for this book, okay? Verity, I read it. It was decent. I'm not gonna hold you up. It actually was pretty decent. It wasn't bad. Me and Mika actually buddy read this because I was reading it and I was like, Mika, you have to read this shit. So we read it. I think she rated it higher than I did, but it was decent. Like it wasn't terrible. It was like a Lifetime movie. Like I said it in my Goodreads review. It's like a Lifetime movie. The Deal, it was decent. It was decent. I don't remember shit from that. I actually just went to the Barnes & Noble today and I saw like the new covers. No thoughts. Ugly Love, not reading that shit. Twisted Love, is this the first one in the series? I read it. It was unfortunate I read it. If this is the first one in the series, I think I liked it at the time because like I like the love interest, but the only thing I remember from that book was, why do I keep thinking about somebody breakdancing? I keep thinking about when like somebody was like harassing the main character and he like beat someone up or something. I do think about that scene when she wasn't texting him back, so he bought her a new iPhone, which at the time I was like, oh, but like looking back at it, that was kind of corny. He's like, oh, your phone must have been broken, so I bought your new iPhone. That shit was corny looking back on it. Yeah. November 9, I'm not reading it. I might read it for a video. I don't know if you've seen any of my other vlogs, but I have a video where I read popular books from 2014 and I actually wanted to do another one. I actually wanted to do like a whole series and do each year, and that video did pretty good. So it's not like I did stop because the video didn't do good. The video did pretty good at the time. I just stopped because I had to read November 9. So yeah, From Luke Off With Love, it was decent. I remember it took me like 2 years to read that book. Like it took me, like everyone hyped it up. I just think that Mariana Zapata books are way too fucking long, bro. I'm one of those people that if your book is your romance book is over 320 pages, I'm out of here. What the fuck are you talking about for 320 pages? I don't need to be here for that. Like whatever y'all are talking about, leave me out of it, bro. So yeah, I don't read books over 320 pages, and if it do, it better be good or I'm gonna be pissed. Hook, Line, and Sinker. Have I read this? Also, okay, no, I wasn't tripping. Oh no, it happened one summer. Why is both these books here? Like they're in a series. Why are, like, there's not any other, I'm looking at the rest of the list, there's nothing else on here that's like in a series. Like we're two book, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Did I read this? No, I didn't read it. I'm not gonna read it. So I'm not reading that shit. Beach read, Mile Core approved. It's not a holy grail. It's a 5-star read, but it's not a, in Emily Henry terms, it's like, damn, so would it be a 5-star? Would it be a holy grail? Like in Emily Henry terms, like, yeah. In terms of like romance, it's a holy grail, but in terms of Emily Henry herself is not a holy grail, if that makes sense. Like, it's a 5-star read, but there are other books that I love more than that one. We're gonna leave it at holy. We're gonna leave it at Mayoko approved. The Love Hypothesis, I loved it when it first came out, and I actually had a friend who I was trying to convince to read it, and she has my copy, but then we like stopped being friends, so I couldn't get my copy back, and she could just keep it, to be honest. Because looking back at the book, it was 500 pages. There was some good, like, I was looking at my Kindle annotations the other day through Goodreads, and the annotations were corny. Yeah, they were. I got, yeah. So I need to go back and like change my ratings for some of these books. But at the time, it was a Mayoko approved. But now, after reading the annotations, she's decent at best. Maybe I'll reread it. No. Koti, did I read this one? Not reading it. I didn't read it. 500 pages. I think I own that. I own something. The Inheritance Games is Mayoko approved. It was a 5-star read. It was a holy grail for me. I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It was right before it became popular. One thing about me is I always complain about not liking YA, and I'm like, oh, I don't like YA fantasy and I don't like YA thrillers. But this one was like really, really good. I remember listening to the audiobook when I was at work, and it was just so good. Like, it was so quick. But it's a whole series now, and I don't do series that like literally be hyper fixating to finish a series. And not only is it a series, like, not only do I not like series, I hate unnecessary series. So if I feel like, personally, if I feel like your book does not need to have a sequel, then no. And this did not need to have a sequel. It didn't need to have as many books. I went to Barnes & Noble today. There's a new fucking book out. Why are there more books out? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are we talking about, bro? I'm not. So, yeah, better than the movies. I don't want to put it in like not reading that shit. I don't think I'm never gonna. Maybe I should have made a TBR. No, I shouldn't have. What is this? They both die at the end. This is a fucking BookTok book, bruh. And then it's like, the thing is it even be like the books from 2014. Like, y'all really think that y'all are the reason why this book is popular, bitch? Pipe that. Like, no, bitch. I'm about to turn to that lady who was like, y'all are trying to cancel Eminem, and then she started rapping. I'm about to turn it to her ass, for real. After would recommend If I Hated You. I actually have a rant review on it. It's one of my very first rant reviews, actually. The Midnight Library, don't care. I'm already depressed enough. I don't need to read a story about depression. I already am living it every single day. Not about to read it. Daisy Jones. I almost said Daisy Jones Became the Six. Daisy Jones and the Six. I thought it was decent. I know everyone really loves the book, but I don't know. Taylor Jenkins Reid's historical do not hit for me. I've read almost all of it. I was gonna read Malibu Rising, which is on this list. I was gonna read Malibu Rising for the summer because I read the tennis one during my Challengers era, and like all I had left to read was Malibu Rising, so I was like, why not? But I just don't think her historical romances are for me, which is crazy. But I love her romances, like, but her romances that she has before, like, I give them all like 4 or 5 stars. Like, I think they're really good. But her historical books do not do it for me. People We Meet on Vacation, that's a holy grail. That's a holy grail. Like, I love People We Meet on Vacation. That was my first Emily Henry book. I feel like whatever you read first is your favorite Emily Henry book. That's how I feel. It might not be the case for everybody, but that's just how I feel. Or at least that's how it worked for me. Malibu Rising, I'm not reading that shit. We Were Liars, I would recommend this to you if I hated you. I actually read this one for the video where I did reading books from 2014. This is one of the books that I read. It was literally shit. It's literally shit. I figured out the plot twist, like, not even halfway through. Like, it was literally. But then also, genuinely, I don't think just because you figure out a plot twist is shit. This book is genuinely shit. Funny You Should Ask, I'm not reading that. It's not even one of those books where I'm like, oh, it could be on my TV. I think I had it downloaded, and isn't this that one where it's like based off a Chris Evans interview or something, where somebody was like, the person was like flirting with Chris Evans, and then the author was like, oh, I'm gonna write it, and then it's like the plot didn't make any sense. Like the plot didn't sound appealing to me. One thing about me is if you say one thing in the description that I don't fuck with, I don't want to read the book anymore. Like I could want to read a book and then I could like read the full description and be like, wait a minute, I'm not fucking with this, and I don't want to read it anymore. What is this? Every Last? I don't care. I don't know what it is and I don't care. Shatter Me. Unfortunately, I read it. This is a BookTok, BookTube. It was popular on BookTube before it was popular on BookTok, but I'll be beating a dead horse if I keep saying it. I know everyone probably gasped. I think I gave it like 3 stars. It was fine. The first book was okay. The second book, 8. The second book was good. It gave like X-Men vibes. You know, I love a superhero vibe. I love X-Men more than I love X-Men. Like I'm X-Men girly. If you don't know anything about me, know that I'm an X-Men girly through and through, right? The third book was a book, and then I read the 4th and 5th one, and they were fucking terrible. Like I don't know how people are only reading these books because they're like Aaron Warner. And one thing about me is your book has to be good in order for me to like have a book boyfriend. Like the book has to be like good for me. And also I don't just make anybody my book boyfriend. Like I'm not about to be like, oh my gosh, I really like how this guy flirts with her, he's my book boyfriend. Like no, I gotta really like fuck with the character. And like I just don't really give a fuck about Aaron Warner. He's blonde, he's 5'7", not my type at all. Like yeah, he's hot or whatever, but that's what I got Darlington from Ninth House for. 1,000 Boy Kisses, fuck that bitch. Isn't that author who wrote that that Triple K romance book, or is that somebody else? Bully me, fuck, what? Who said that? Bunny, decent. I remember this being really hyped up on BookTube, and I read it for my book club like 2 years ago, and I thought I was gonna love it. I'm like, it was okay, it was all right. Cersei, I should have made a TBR section. I should have made a TBR section, but it's not really on my but I do own it, so it is on my TBR. Yeah, but it's gonna go in not reading that shit, unfortunately. And so is Song of Achilles, unfortunately. Oh, this is gonna look so bad. It Happened One Summer. Unfortunately, I read it. Unfortunately, I remember everyone being like, this is like, what's her name from Schitt's Creek? And I'm like, oh my gosh, Schitt's Creek. I love that show. Like, that show was so much fun to watch. Like, yeah. The romance, the way that the guy talked, I didn't like the way that he talked to women. Like, it was something about it that just really rubbed me the wrong way. And I just thought it was subpar, to be honest. The Cruel Prince. Do you even know me? Like, come on now. If We Were Villains. Come on now. Do you even know me? Well, I didn't work as hard making that my brand as I did with The Cruel Prince. I feel like, not that I've aged out, but you know, The Cruel Prince is YA, and like I don't really talk about YA anymore, so I don't really talk about the book like that anymore. But If We Were Villains is like adult, thriller, dark academia. It's everything that I love. I mean, so is the Cruel Prince, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, okay? But yeah, I need to talk about If We Were Villains a lot more. I need to push that brand. Punk 57, Mario Core approved. I'm sorry. Penelope Douglas was the last like good dark romance author before bitches really started to go insane. And like I know you're probably like, if you've read like Corrupt or any of her other romances, you're probably like, bitch, but that doesn't hold a candle to like half of the dark romance books that are out now, like, unfortunately. And like Penelope Douglas is just the right amount of dark romance for me personally. So yeah, I like Punk 57. It's not my favorite Penelope Douglas, but there's no other books on here. 36 Venom isn't on here, so. A Quarter Tons of Roses, it was decent. I'm not gonna be a hater. Usually I'd be like, oh, unfortunately, usually I will be a hater. Today I am gonna be nice. I'm not gonna be a hater. Neon Gods, unfortunately I read it. I think I gave it 3 stars, but it was just I keep reading the series because when it's ovulation week, the series just hits, and that's all I'm gonna say. All Your Perfects, I think I've read this. I don't know if I read this. I will put not reading that shit. If I did read it, it was shit. Six of Crows, Mario Core approved. It's not my favorite book. It was one of the very first books when I joined BookTube like fucking 5 years ago. But I didn't get the hype when I read it. I was like, oh, okay. Like, it was fine. but it wasn't like amazing. Like I'm not obsessed like everybody else is, but it's a good book. Red, White, Royal Blue, I'm not reading that shit. A Little Life, not. Looking at the fucking graph is sending me, bro. You've read Sam, not reading that shit. A Touch of Darkness, I've read it. Unfortunately, I've read it. Dance of Thieves, I started this book and I DNF'd it. Not reading. Well, yeah, not reading that shit. Every Summer After, not reading that shit. Also, literally when I was looking up the reviews for Every Summer After, somebody said it was a carbon copy of Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. And like I was like looking at the reviews and what people were saying, and from what I saw in the reviews, it looks like it was like literally copy and paste, like plagiarized. Like it's only like a small difference between the two, but I'm like, I didn't like Love and Other Words, so why would I read this? I think that's an issue when you copy certain books, because it's like, at least copy like a beloved book by everybody. Like Lauren Roberts copying The Hunger Games for Powerless, that makes sense because it's a very popular book. Or like The Red Queen, majority of everyone loved that book. But like fucking Love and Other Words, I mean, I guess everyone loved that too, but it's like, I don't know. Damn, I just hit The Silent Patient. I can't remember if I read this book or not. I don't think I read this book. I think my sister read it and she was like, oh, it's stupid, don't read it. Or she loved it. I'm not reading that shit. Normal People, Mayoko approved. I didn't love this book. It was really hard for me to get into because it didn't have any quotation marks. And I know a lot of people are like, wah, wah, like, what the fuck do you need quotation marks? I'm sorry, but when I was taught in school how to write, they taught me that you should use quotation marks. So I think that everyone should use quotation marks. Also, I was like in my party girl era, so I was really like, wasn't really reading like how I read now, like how I usually read. Like I was literally picking up the book every now and then, and I just kept getting confused. But like the premise is amazing, and like the work itself was good. It's just like the lack of quotation marks. Like, girl, stop trying to be unique. Put some fucking quotation marks on that shit. The fine print would recommend it to you if I hated you. I'm sorry, I don't fuck with Lauren Asher. I think she's a terrible writer, if I'm being honest. I don't know why people read her romance books. Like, I think, well, I know why. I'm realizing that a lot of people read these books because they're like turn off your brain and read type of books, and that's not the type of person I am. Unfortunately, I can't turn this brain off. She keeps working. She's always working. It's not something that I can do. So yeah, this book was shit. Literally, he's her boss, and it's like, that's fine. I'm not new to like boss employee romance or whatever, but it's the fact that like he literally was like, it's like a fictional Disney World, and he wasn't like, they didn't have healthcare, he wasn't paying them shit. Why the fuck would I fall in love with Mr. Krabs? Like, what? No. Book lovers, Holy Grail, it's my favorite Emily Henry book of all time. Well, under Funny Story. If you want to know more, you should watch my Emily Henry ranking video. Conversations with Friends, not reading that shit. I'm not reading, until she puts some quotation, until she learns how to use quotation marks, I'm not reading Sally Rooney. Like, I don't give a fuck. Love and Other Words, would recommend it to you if I hated you. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend it to you if I hated you. A lot of people like to glide over the fact that this book has essay in it, like just blatant essay, and I don't know why people miss that. I mean, I guess it's the way that the authors wrote it, but I don't know why people don't talk about it. I don't know. On Honeymoon, it's a holy grail for me. I went back to this book. Well, I haven't reread it yet, but I was just thinking about it, and it's so crazy because when it first came out, everybody was like, it's Fade to Black, and I'm like, yeah, I love this book even though it's Fade to Black, and like now it's like, I don't care. That's actually what I want in reading, which is so crazy because I used to be like, oh, I'm not reading that book, it's Fade to Black, that's childish. And it's like, now I'm like, please give me Fade to Black, like, please. Actually, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, it was decent. I didn't love it as much as everybody else loved it. I had an arc of it. I felt like I was misled because back in the day, before booktok was popular, this book was promoted as like a love story between a girl and a devil, and that's not what it was. So that's the main reason why I didn't love it. It Ends With Us, I did like it when I read it, but with the author and like the whole situation, like writing about abuse and then someone messaging you and telling you that your son abused them and you blocking them allegedly, I just think that's kind of like fucked up, and it's like, it defeats the purpose of the book, like, to me. The Wall and Woody Peg and Me, I have read. I thought it was decent. Like, it was fine. Reminders of Him, not reading that shit. The Maddest Obsession. Yeah, I think I gave this book 5 stars when I read it. We're gonna move past that. Okay? Sometimes I get lonely and I will read the wrong book at the right moment. We'll just go with that. The Love Hypothesis. Mayoko approved. I did give her 5 stars. I'm not gonna say she's not a holy grail, but I did give that book 5 stars. I thought it was decent. Like, all of her other books haven't really, I feel like now my issue with her is I feel like all of her books read the same, except for Bride. Bride was different, but at the same time she still has the same, like, I don't know, same like elements. They still read the same, like, low-key. To Love, Jason Thorne. I read this. Yeah, I would recommend this to you if I hated you. Like, this book was fucking weird. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Decent. It was fine. Like, I didn't love it. I mean, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. My issue with the book is just everything felt convenient for the main character. And I got attacked on Twitter for saying this, but I don't give a fuck. I thought it was weird that she was like 17 and the love interest is like 20. Maybe he's 19, but he's not in high school. And I think that's weird. Like, for somebody who's not in high school to be dating a high schooler. Everybody attacked me on Twitter. Like, I got quoted the fuck up. And I don't give a fuck. I still stand by it. Like, he was 20. Like, I remember them saying that. I remember them saying that she was 17. Like, but whatever. Either way, still fucking weird, bitch. The Hating Game. Mayoko approved. I liked it at the time. I've read all of her books since then, and they suck. She's not wrote a good book since then, which I think is insane. How do you write one of, like, the most popular books ever? Book like this literally pushed the enemies or hate to love. This literally pushed the hate to love genre in the direction it is now when it comes to romance, and you can't write another good book. Heartstopper. I have read this, so Mayoko approved. It was really cute. Yeah, I'm not reading that shit, and I'm saying that with that chest. Like, the whole rumors about that author, absolutely fucking disgusting. Like, fuck that bitch. 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Unfortunately, I read it. I know everyone loves it, but I have my issues with it. And I think I did a rant review on my reads if you care, but there was an issue. It's a spoiler, so I can't really talk about it. There's an issue. There's something that happens in the last end of the book, and I personally felt like it was racist and weird. And I don't want y'all to hear that and be like, oh, the book is so the book is racist now. Like, I'm allowed to feel how I feel, bitch. If you like the book and I don't, it's not my problem. Be mad about it. You know what? Comment if you're mad. Make a comment so that YouTube can boost my video. Thank you. The Atlas 6. Unfortunately, I read it. Unfortunately, I read that. That was a terrible fucking book, bitch. And everyone literally, like, I think I was like stalking it like a month ago. The last book has a 2-star rating. When I was stalking it like a month ago, it might have went up, but I tried to tell you guys, no one wants to listen to me. I know what good books are. Maybe you should listen to me, and you won't be disappointed when an author that can't write and tricked you into thinking that she can publishes a shitty book. But yeah, that's all for this video. How the fuck do I stop this? Oh my gosh. Alright, figured out how to stop screen recording. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. This was very, very fun. I don't usually do tier rankings because I'm a grandma and I didn't know how to screen record until now. It's actually not that hard. Maybe I'll do more tier rankings in the future. I want to do like other type of tier rankings, like ones that like aren't book related, but I didn't think anybody would care. Honestly, I don't know. This was a lot of work. This is a lot of energy. I don't know how people do these often, because there are people who do these a lot. I don't know how you guys do it. This was very draining. I'm not gonna hold you up, but yeah, this was very fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.